Hey guys, I wanted to give you a little behind the scenes of our Alegre lights setup here. So I'm gonna head out to the street and we'll take a look. So if we start out here, this is actually a new little Tune sign. I made this last year, just a little shadow box. It stood up okay. I'll probably need to do some modifications. I used a cheap plastic on the front, so it's kind of warping a little bit. And then I got the back peeling off here, but it sort of did its job for this year. In the driveway, we have fire sticks. So there's 8 on each side. So I got 8 there and 8 here. That makes for like 16 total. And those are actually all controlled by this Light-O-Rama controller box here. So it's 16 channels on this, so they control all those lights. And then over here we have our mega tree. This is actually, it's not very mega, but it's the Light-O-Rama 6-foot mega tree. It's supposed to be 25 pixels up, and they actually had it skipping every 2. But I wanted a little bit denser this year, so I added some more pixels to it, and we went with every hole. In the lawn here, I have these mini strobe lights set up that give a pretty cool effect throughout the show. And then if you look at the garage, we've got pixels all around here, around the garage door and the windows. These are actually punched into the chroma trim, and then it's zip tied to this PVC, and that actually keeps them up there pretty well. For like the eaves of the roof, we actually did this permatrack, which is kind of a more permanent setting, but it's basically this permatrack channel that the lights all run through, and then it's held up on these little clips and went all the way up, basically underneath all the eaves here through the front. So that's how the front of the roof line is done. We have our speakers that are mounted there. I got one more that's actually on the other side, right under that camera. And then we've got our floodlights. So there's 2 up on the top there, and then I've actually got 2 that are down here, so 1 on either side. There's actually 8 total, so there's a couple more over here, and then up underneath that eave there's a couple more. For our power supply, I actually got a little bit lucky with our garage. It's got like a little gap here, so I just kind of took advantage of that. Ran most of our power cords out through there. So 2 of them actually run to that side, one to the tree, one to that other controller, and then we have a couple others that run up underneath here, which is where we have all the this is a Pixie 16, which is, these are all Light-O-Rama, but this one controls all of the RGB on the house. So it looks a little bit like a mess, but it's a lot cleaner kind of being tucked away under here. I'll probably even clean it up a little bit more next year. This control box here controls all the floodlights. And then this one here is actually controls the whole show. So this little mini director here has a little SD card. You can see that. And then all the songs are loaded up on there, and that controls the whole show. This is actually the radio transmitter. It's sitting loose here because I had issues with the power supply on it earlier this year, so I had to provide a separate power supply, and it wouldn't mount up there in the same way, so I just have it sitting loose, but I'll probably change that out this year. I've actually already got another transmitter that I'll use. So anyways, yeah, same thing on the doors and windows, just the chroma trim and the PVC. You can see our dog, Mika, sitting inside. She loves to watch everyone. And then in the front yard here, we've got some more of these mini strobes. And then we have these mini RGB trees. I'll kind of show you around, but there's 4 of them. These are from Boscoya. They've actually got 120 pixels in each of them, and that's actually controlled by this Pixie 16. I just want to open up to show you, but basically you got the 12 volt power supply here, and then this is the Pixie 16 controller. It's got 16 ports coming off of it, which is a little bit overkill for this. I'm only using 4 of them, and as you can see down here, I've got a lot of extra ports, but that's just to expand for future years. And then these just have a Cat 5 cable that comes in, and they're all daisy chained together. So one of them is the data coming in, and then data going out to the next controller. And then I just have a little theft prevention device here. Hopefully that doesn't run off. And then our neighbor actually made this cool little Tune 2 sign. He does signs, and so he put this together for us last year. And if I need to change a radio station, it's dry erase, so I can just change it on the fly. And then we have our AC mini trees here. So there's 4 of those. Plus we also have the redwood with that's all strung up. There's 4 colors on each of these, so it's red, white, blue, and green. And then I'll show you, these are all controlled by this 16 channel AC controller over here. So if you look here, this just has, it's actually got two power cords that come in. One controls one half of the board, the other controls the other half, and then each half has 8 channels, so this is 16 total. So that goes out to control the mini trees. Like I said, 4 channels on each. And then we actually have these reindeer here we got last year from Costco, which we really love. I do have them plugged into a controller, but they don't sequence very well because of the power supply that they are on. So they're actually on, they've actually got this sort of power supply, and when you turn it on, it takes about 4 seconds to turn on, and so that doesn't work very well for sequencing. So I actually just have them set to come on and off during, you know, certain parts of the songs, but I don't have it, you know, go to the music. And then each of these bushes here have white lights on them. So I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is 5, 6. Those all have white lights on. And then they've also got the mini strobes through the bushes and then also through the trees. So that is all done on this controller right here. And this actually also has a line that goes up to the roof for the mini strobes, which the line starts there. And then I'll head up to the roof next to show you guys the setup up there, but kind of from here you can see it's sort of that same chroma trim, which is actually zip tied to the PVC, and then it's got right here, we've got these little 3D printed clips, but I'll show you those a little closer. Okay, so we're up on the roof here, and if you remember down on the ground, this is where the strobe lights come up, and then these are the RGBs. These are the clips that I was talking about. So they'll just clip into there and then slide underneath the shingles. So I have that run all the way up the roof, the outline around the chimney, and then it goes up all along the ridge line. Up here, since those clips didn't really work, I actually just kind of made this PVC here that goes into a T, and then it's actually just held down by a sandbag, so that keeps that in place. And you can see, I think I got about 10 of them or so going along there. And then these strobes just kind of go up and down. And then if you look down here, that's where the That's where all the extensions come from the Pixie 16 that was under the eaves that run all the lights on the roof. So like one going up that way, a few going up here, and they basically control all these lights. So that was it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions. I would love to hear from you, and we'll see you next year.